Greetings, all. The LA Dodgers and the Tampa Bay Rays. Now, what's interesting is after game one, it looked like the Dodgers were just the better team. After game two, maybe not. After game three, I'm leaning towards the Dodgers again. And, you know, I think the Rays' penchant for striking out, I think the Rays relying on the long ball, I think eventually it starts to hurt you. And I think that while they have the good bullpen, tonight their starting pitching let them down. And it wasn't supposed to happen because Morton was the starter, right? And he had a great record coming into tonight. You can't foresee what's going to happen. But one thing with the Dodgers, really important thing with the Dodgers, this is a team that is, I've said this during this series, they're very patient at the plate. They run up pitch count. And it's one of those things that in modern day baseball that I love that we didn't have 30 years ago, where you can watch the pitch count go up, and it is fascinating to see how the Dodgers can get 7, 8, 10 pitches out of an at bat that otherwise you might think is unreliable or unremarkable, I should say, but it works. It works that if you can get those extra few pitches with each batter, you'll wear their pitching staff down, you get past the starter faster, and then no matter how good their bullpen is, if you can get into it early, you're ahead. And it starts out early with Turner with the home run. So he gets the home run. If we had a 3 stars for tonight, Buehler would be number 1, Turner would be number 2 in my eyes. Because they were having the debate during this game of who was really the MVP for the Dodgers. For me, it's Buehler. And it starts in the bottom of the first inning where the Rays go 1, 2, 3. And Bueller's making it look easy after one. Second inning though, Morton not to be outdone, he gets a 1, 2, 3 inning. So it's like, okay, maybe we're in for a really low scoring game, and this will be that pitching matchup we've been waiting for. Bottom of the second, 6 up, 6 down for the Rays. Now the Rays, they get a majority of their hitting via the first 6 guys. The bottom 3, not as much, and it's mostly home runs. So we go to the top of the third, and it's a 2 RBI single for Muncy with 2 outs. Now, that is the 49th 2-out run scored by LA, and that's the most all-time in the postseason for any one run. Now, of course, we will talk about how this run is a little bit longer because of the expanded playoffs, but it's an impressive record for the Dodgers, and it makes it 3-0. Bottom of the third, this is where the Rays need that fight back, but Buehler's just shutting them down. No runs for the Rays, no hits for the Rays through 3. Fourth inning, Barnes with the squeeze play puts the bunt right down the first baseline. The only play they have is at first. The run scores from third. That makes it 4-0. And then Betts gets an RBI on a single, and there you go. It is 5-0. And in the bottom of the fourth, the Rays, they went out again. And this is where I thought, you know what? They're going to mess with this, aren't they? So there's no hits for the Rays through 4. Top of the fifth, finally the Dodgers are put out. Morton ends up being taken out with 1 out in the 5th inning. He ends up with 5 earned runs, 6 strikeouts, and 1 walk. He was striking them out, just the Dodgers managed to get runs. They just generate runs is what they do. And then in the bottom of the 5th, they said the words perfect game. And I said, okay, you don't say the words perfect game, not in the 5th inning. And the very next play was a 1-out double by Margot, which broke the no-hitter. And then Adames hits the double right after that to break the shutout. And I thought, this is why we can't have nice things. So 5-1 after the 5th inning. In the 6th, it is Barnes with a solo home run. So he's the second batter in history in a World Series game to get a squeeze bunt RBI and a home run RBI. And I think it's like 1963 was the other time that happened. So that makes it 6-1. And then in the bottom of the 6th, well, Buehler ends up with 10 strikeouts after 6. He is the 7th Dodger pitcher to do that. And there's some pretty big names on that list. There have been some Hall of Fame level players that have played for the Dodgers over the years. People may not know that. So 7th inning, finally the Dodgers seem to be under control. Again, this is where, yes, the bullpen is very good for the Rays, but they're down by a lot. So no runs scored in the 7th for the Dodgers. Bottom of the 7th, the Rays also failed to score a run. So both bullpens are doing well. Top of the 8th, the bullpen works for the Rays. gets that inning shut down. Bottom of the 8th, the Dodgers do the same to Tampa. Top of the 9th, the Dodgers, they don't get anything across. So they get 6 runs through 9 innings in the bottom of the 9th. Again, the announcer, he knows how to jinx players. He mentioned Arozarena, and this was with 2 out. Arozarena was about to go 3 games without a home run, which would be the first time he's done that in the playoffs. And he's on the verge of setting rookie records with home runs, blah, 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 blah. With 2 strikes, I believe it was a 2-strike pitch. Arozarena hits a solo home run, his 8th. They jinxed the Dodgers all night. I'm telling you, if you're a Dodgers fan, you had to be listening to that announcing and going, really, you guys jinxed the no-hitter and now you got a Arozarena home run? Thanks, guys. But the good news is, if you're a Dodgers fan, that's the only run they get. And this is the thing. I've been very surprised by how many solo home run, solo home run, solo home run. 3 home runs in tonight's game. They scored 3 runs. So this is that. If you're going to give up the long ball, if nobody's on base, it doesn't really hurt. So Jensen ends up giving up a run in the 9th, but he still shut things down. The final score is 6-2. They were talking about Jensen too for the Dodgers and their closing issues. And you know what? I mean, I've been looking at baseball over the last 10 years and how the starting role has changed and you have your opener. I think closing roles are going to be gone. I think it's just going to be depending on who's coming up in the 9th inning and what, are they lefties? Are they righties? Who are they? Who do they match up well against? I think having a pure closer, I think that's going to go by the wayside completely. I think we'll see a bunch of guys with 15 saves in a bullpen. I think that's the next thing that's going to evolve its way out of the game is the idea of having that one guy you go to in the 9th. And I love closers. Some of my favorite pitchers in baseball history have been closers. And it's another one of those things where for me, a guy who loves the pitching aspect, who loves the pitchers, the way that baseball's played now, it's different. Now, I love Buehler's performance. He went 6 innings, 10 strikeouts, 3 hits, 1 earned run, and that's the double by Adames that brought in Margot. Other than that, he had a clean sheet tonight. And if Buehler can do that, and I'm guessing, let's see, this is game 3, so if we go to game 7, you got to think he'd probably pitch. If we go to a game 7 and Buehler's the guy, you got to think he has the advantage. Interestingly enough, Mookie Betts doesn't realize what decade it is, and we aren't base stealing anymore. He's stealing like it's the 80s. And I like that. It's one of those things, and I'm going to agree with something Buck Martinez said during the game. The fact that base runners don't steal bases anymore, I get it. I get what the advanced stats tell you. I've seen Moneyball. I know what it says. We don't want you getting picked off, thrown to second. But it does take pitchers off their game when they have to worry about the guy leading off first. Is he going to steal? Is he not? When you take that out of the equation, you end up with more strikeouts. Because now they're not worried about the guy on base. They know that he's not stealing anyways. They might try to hold him on, but not like they would have 30 years ago. So it's a change in the game. I understand it. I know they don't want, guys stealing base unless there's an 80% chance they're going to make it to second. But I still think there's room in the game for it, and Mookie Betts is one of those guys who's a throwback, in my eyes, to some of the greats. I heard Ricky Henderson's name mentioned early on in this series, and I thought, I can see some of Ricky Henderson in the way Mookie Betts plays. Mookie Betts is a better, I think, all-around player than Ricky Henderson, and Ricky Henderson was one of the best I ever saw. He also, to me, seemed like a kind of a jerk. But you know what? It's fine, because being kind of a jerk, but being the best at what you do and being way better at stealing bases than everybody else, if him being kind of a jerk is what made him the best at it, that's fine. I really can't have any argument against that. The Tampa Bay Rays now have the most strikeouts in postseason history in 1 year. They've had 174, I believe, is the number that broke it. I know they've broken the record. I'm pretty sure 174 broke the record. This is a problem. The Rays need to figure out the strikeouts, and they need to not strike out so much in the next game, because the 10 against Buehler, and then they had strikeouts after Buehler came out of the game. That's a problem. And it starts with Lau. Lau struggling. Lots of issues with high fastballs. They showed it. He has 3 strikeouts tonight. He had a flyout in the 9th inning as well. He's not making good contact. So despite how well he played in Game 2 and what he was able to do in Game 2, I think his batting average so far in the postseason is around 130. He's not batting his weight. So this is a problem. And now tomorrow for Game 4, Urias is coming out to pitch for the Dodgers, and Tampa Bay has not announced who their starter will be for tomorrow. So are they going to try to have an opener? Are they going to have like a guy work 2 innings and a guy work an inning? And when you're down 2-1 in the World Series, I think that's playing with fire. If they put a guy out there they know is only going to pitch 2 innings, I'm going to say right now the Dodgers could run up the score and they could win at 15-3. This could be this could be it. So the Rays need to come up with the exact right pitcher to counter Urias, because Urias looked very good in getting the Dodgers here. And he's a confident pitcher. He's a good pitcher. And if he pitches anywhere near as well as Buehler did tonight, this series could end up being over in 5. But Tampa Bay proved us wrong in Game 2. Now they have to do it again in Game 4. The team that wins Game 3 when the series is tied at 1-1 ends up winning 68% of the World Series. So the numbers, the math will tell you this series likely belongs to the Dodgers. But if you like your underdogs, the Rays are still in this. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.